Well, good morning. Welcome to Unity of Gainesville. I'm Don Necro. I'm going to be a musician this morning, and I'm pleased that Reverend Danny Spears is here with us this morning. He will be our speaker, and of course, he is our spiritual leader. So let's get things moving a little bit. And you all remember House Built on Love? Let's start with that. Why don't we stand, and we'll sing this twice. How about that? Come, let us gather together. This is a place of love. We come together as people of prayer. This is a house built on love. Come, let us gather in peace. This is a sacred space. We join our hearts here in one loving family. This is a house built on love. We come together as people of prayer. This is a house built on love. Again. Come, let us gather together. This is a place of love. We come together as people of prayer. This is a house built on love. Come, let us gather in peace. This is a sacred space. We join our hearts here in one loving family. This is a house built on love. We come together as people of prayer. This is a house built on love. We come together as people of prayer. This is a house built on love.
And today's daily word is comfort. The love in my heart is my comfort. If the sadness of loss diminishes my joy as I think of happy experiences with the loved ones who are no longer with me, I remember that the love we shared will bind us together always. Love never dies. Love, the most beautiful attribute of God, is present always and everywhere. I am comforted as my heart opens to the divine love within me, knowing that this same love enfolds all of those I hold dear, no matter where they are on the eternal journey of life. Peace and strength grow in my awareness as I open myself to love's expression. I bless everyone who comes to mind today with a loving thought. I speak a loving word or perform a simple act of kindness wherever I can. As I bring comfort to others, I am comforted also. Let your steadfast love become my comfort according to your promise to your servant. Psalms 119:76. I would like to have a moment of silence to pray for those who have fought for our freedom here and around the world, and also for the children and families that are in Texas, for those that are healing mentally and physically. So let us begin. And so it is. Amen. You can request prayer by going to the cell phone app store and downloading the app, You Pray. Your prayer will be sent directly to Silent Unity, where it will be held in prayer for an additional 30 days. We also have a prayer team that would be happy to pray with you. Please leave your prayer request by either calling the church office and leaving a message or placing your prayer request in our prayer box. Following the church service, any prayer chaplain wearing a prayer shawl would be happy to meet with you for an individual prayer. Please join me in praying for those who have requested prayer during the sacred time in our service. You may speak their names now. All prayers, whether spoken or unspoken, are known by the divine. As we release this heartfelt request, we know and affirm that all is in divine order. Thank you, God. Amen.
Last Sunday, you may remember that after the meditation, I sang a new song called the Thank You Song. And we're going to learn that. And the reason that Joe's standing here, she's going to help us. But I also want to thank her that some friends of hers actually composed this song, Joanne and Joe, and she's the one who brought it to us. So we're going to sing it through once together slowly, and then y'all are going to join us and we're going to sing it twice. So y'all ready? So ready, Miss Joe?
We're ready.
Thank you, Blessed Spirit, for your grace in my life. I know your wisdom guides me. I feel your joy inside. I know you walk beside me. Your love is sweet and true. I feel your peace embrace me. I'm in the light with you. Okay, it's your turn. Y'all ready? Here's your intro. Thank you, Blessed Spirit, for your grace in my life. I know your wisdom guides me. I feel your joy inside. I know you walk beside me. Your love is sweet and true. I feel your peace embrace me. I'm in the light with you again. Thank you, Blessed Spirit, for your grace in my life. I know your wisdom guides me. I feel your joy inside.
right, nice job. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good. Y'all were going to be very quiet today, so okay. It's all right. It's all right. Let's get started. Have you ever had one of those days where it seems like there simply aren't enough hours in the day to get everything done you need to get done? And I'm not just talking about the people who are still working. I've heard retired people say they are so busy they don't know how they used to work and still get everything done. These days, finding time to prepare a decent meal or enjoy a decent meal just seems a little more than wishful thinking, right? But if that sounds like you, or if you just can't bear the thought of cooking, or you would rather do anything than cook, you are in luck. Because you can enjoy delicacies like PJ Squares, and those are peanut butter and jelly slabs. Or how about Yoplait Express? That's yogurt in a tube. Our 9-year-old granddaughter loves those. Or Incredibles, microwavable meals like scrambled eggs on a stick. Yeah, that sounds so tasty. Now these culinary delights are for those people, the one-handed breakfast meals for those folks who need their other hand to operate the cell phone, to text, or to put on their makeup while they're driving through morning rush hour traffic. Or if you're retired and you're sitting home, or if you'd rather do anything but cook, these are for those folks who need their other hand to operate the TV remote. Yeah, that kind of breakfast would not have worked for my Grandma Polly. Not at all. See, there was nothing instant about breakfast at my Grandma Polly's. Nope, I'm talking hot breakfast here, and not hot from a microwave. Homemade biscuits, sausage gravy, or plain gravy made with some bacon drippings. We had bacon sometimes. Eggs prepared any way you ask except poached, because Grandma didn't do poached. And then my favorite, sopping chocolate that you sopped up with the biscuits. You haven't heard of sopping chocolate? So, yes, you have, yes. Sopping chocolate. Think chocolate gravy. Yes, you've got flour, and you've got cocoa and sugar and a little milk and vanilla. Oh, it was so good. It sounds kind of disgusting, but it is delicious. Tracy knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. And if you were 6 years old or older, you retreated to a cup of my grandma's Polly's coffee that was strong enough to slap you awake. And why 6 years old, you may ask? Because according to my Grandma Polly, if you were old enough to go to school, you were old enough to drink coffee. Yeah. Between the sugar and the sopping chocolate and the caffeine and the high-test coffee, you were good to go for the day and well into the night. And there was no treating my Grandma Polly's kitchen like a McDonald's drive-thru either. Nope. You sat down at the table, you said grace, and you actually had conversations at the breakfast table. And if it was Sunday, yep, we were headed to church. And don't even try to play sick with Grandma Polly, because she did not play that. And if she found out you were playing sick, you would wish you were sick. We were on the way to church. See, with Grandma Polly, there was no such thing as being too busy for breakfast or conversation and to spend some time with God. And these days, well, we're just busy people, aren't we? And I get that too. We do have places to go and people to see, things to accomplish. I get that. At the same time, is it possible to be just a little bit too busy? And I say that because I believe our relationship with time, how we prioritize our time and how we spend it, has effects far beyond ourselves. So with that thought in mind, our relationship with time, I'm examining that relationship with time by looking at the fourth commandment of the Ten Commandments, and that is the Sabbath commandment. And why do I mention the number 4? I do that because there's some symbolism in the position of this commandment. You see, the 3 commandments before it address humanity's relationship with God, and then the commandments following this one address our relationship with the rest of creation and with one another. So what we can say here is this commandment, close to the middle, connects our inner life, our spiritual life, our life with God, with our outer lives, our lives with creation and with one another. Most of us know the first part of this Sabbath commandment, right? Remember the Sabbath. Remember the Sabbath day. It's that second part that's been given us fit for centuries. Remember that? Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. So exactly what is the Sabbath day? Just how do we keep it holy? You might be surprised. For the early Jewish community, observing Sabbath was recognition of the Creator God who, according to the creation stories in Genesis, rested. Sabbath keeping was also a political statement. It was a political statement against those governments which at alternate times during history dominated the Jewish community, enslaved them, abused them, and used them and creation up to exhaustion. For our Jewish siblings, Sabbath was and still is observed at a particular time or a particular day. And depending on your level of observance, there are quite a few rules about what is allowed and what is prohibited on Sabbath. And these prohibitions or these allowances are often based on various interpretations of rabbinical law. For Christians, Sabbath includes many of these principles too. Sabbath keeping includes communal worship, although we do tend to disagree about what day and what time and what counts, and do you have to be here, or can you do it from home, or all that stuff. It's also a political statement in a way too for Christians, in that it's a way of saying no to society's expectation of frantic activity and constantly accomplishing things. It's a no also to frantic leisure. Think about this. When's the last time you went on vacation and when you got home you were so tired you had to rest? It's like we needed a vacation from our vacation. Or when was the last time that we pushed ourselves to exhaustion just to finish that all-important to-do list for the day? Yeah, we may have had to drag our behinds to bed at night and collapse around midnight or so, ignoring the people we love and all those other important relationships. But hey, we got that list done, didn't we? We got it all done. Or did we? So those are just a couple of ways of interpreting Sabbath. Of course, we're unity, and we all know what that means, right? We interpret things a little differently. We tend to interpret Sabbath just a bit differently than both our Jewish and our Christian siblings. So what does Sabbath look like in unity? Metaphysically, Sabbath occurs whenever we take a break from all our personal efforts and belief in our own works, in our own importance, so to speak. And we rest in the consciousness of the Christ Spirit expressing in, through, and as us. We don't worry so much about following prescribed rules about what Sabbath looks like, laid down by any church, including our own. And we open our minds instead to God's rest and peace. Now, you can see with this interpretation, it includes some aspects of both Jewish and Christian observances, teachings, I should say, on this subject of Sabbath. We differ in unity, however, in the respect that for us, Sabbath isn't a particular day or even a particular period of time. Now, what we're doing here today, communal worship, is definitely part of a Sabbath practice, and that's wonderful. At the same time, meditating or walking in nature alone or with friends is Sabbath. Enjoying our favorite beverage while listening to music and reflecting or maybe journaling or studying is Sabbath. Setting aside our all-important to-do list and our egocentric need to always be accomplishing something, setting that aside for a time and then spending that time with people we love is Sabbath. That is, Sabbath is meant to be life-giving and not just a rule to keep or something else to check off our to-do list. Remember, our master teacher Jesus said that Sabbath was created for humanity and not humanity for the Sabbath. Again, Sabbath was created for humanity and not humanity for the Sabbath. So in unity, at least, Sabbath can happen anytime, anywhere. You see, Sabbath is not only the fourth commandment, and it's not only a political statement, it's an alternative way of prioritizing our time. And it focuses on our relationships, not only with our divine selves, but also with those people that we love and with creation. How we use our time and how we prioritize our time says a lot about us and what is important to us. How we order our time and how we spend our time affects not only us, it affects the people around us, especially the people closest to us. Let's think about our schedules here for a minute. Are we so busy that we can't take some time, regular time, to deepen and strengthen that Christ light which lives within all of us? Are we so busy that regularly spending even a little time with those people that are most important in our lives, are we so busy that that has become more of a chore than a joy? Are we so busy that regularly spending even a little time to bring life and hope and peace to other people, sometimes just by just sitting and listening and talking or sharing a cup of coffee or whatever, just spending a little time and bringing that hope and joy, are we so busy that we just can't find our way clear to do that anymore? If any of these questions ring a bell for us, could it be that we're just a little bit too busy? The good news is, believe it or not, in the divine economy, there really is enough time to worship, to spend time in community, to study, to work, yes, to play and rest. There is, in other words, enough time to stop, sit down, and have breakfast at Grandma Polly's. It all depends on whose timetable we're on. So this week, I'm closing by giving you homework. That's right. You have an assignment. Even you people watching from home, you have an assignment, okay? You just thought school let out this week, didn't you? This week, I want us all to take some time to review our schedules. Look at how we spend our time. And we find ourselves being a little bit too busy. Let's look at some ways to lose some of that stuff, to release some of that stuff, to break free from those frantic schedules and to-do lists which threaten to keep us in bondage. Of course, like both the Israelites and the early Christians, breaking free will mean saying yes to some things, and it will mean saying no to others, including saying no to our egos. When they try to convince us that if we don't do it, it will never get done. At least not correctly. While we're on that subject, here's a thought. What if it, whatever it is that we're so worried about getting done, what if it wasn't ours to do in the first place? Have you ever thought about that? All this stuff that we think we have to do all the time, all the stuff that we think we're responsible for, what if it's not ours to do? We talk a lot in Unity about doing what is ours to do. And I think we just take that a little far sometimes because we think it is all ours to do, and it's not. And I'm very guilty of that. I will tell on myself. It is not all ours to do. Let that stuff go, people. Now, is that tough to do? Of course it is. Of course it's tough. Yet if saying no to some of these things means experiencing the freedom that comes from saying yes to deepening our relationship with the God within, if it means deepening our relationships with one another and with creation and with ourselves, in the long run, if we do that, how can we lose? The answer is we can't. So remember, slow down, sit down, enjoy this feast called life. Because you never know, right? Slow down, enjoy the feast of life. Now take a seat, relax, pass the sop and chocolate and the biscuits. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and enjoy. And so it is.
Into thy hands I commit my spirit. Thy will is my will. Heal me at depth so that I may be one with God. Reveal that which needs to be revealed. Heal that which needs to be healed, so that I may be one with God.
Take a moment and breathe. Just grounding ourselves in the moment. We have no place to be right now other than here. Let go of that to-do list if you have it, because you can always pick it up later. Or not. Breathe in peace. Allow it to move through you, calming us, relaxing us. Just breathe out to the world. And as you breathe today, I want you to think about the people you love. Spouses, partners, friends, family. Whether they're close or far away. Love them. take the time to love. And as you continue to breathe, I want you to, for a moment, think about those who we don't know. People experiencing unspeakable loss at this time. We'll probably never meet many of these people or any of them, but love them. Take the time to love them. And as you continue to breathe, finally, think of yourself. Sometimes we're so hard on ourselves for not accomplishing enough, or not doing enough, or not being enough. Breathe in and out and let that go. We are enough just as we are. One more time, breathe in deep love and light and healing. Allow it to move through you. And as you breathe out, let that love express through you and as you. We are enough. In this moment, there's nothing to accomplish. Simply be. So be. Be at peace. Amen.
Into thy hands I commit my spirit. Thy will is my will. Heal me at depth so that I may be one with God. Reveal that which need to be revealed. Heal that which needs to be healed, so that I may be one with God.
Thank you, Don Necco. Thank you, Reverend Danny, for that great message, knowing that we have a choice to say no, and when we say yes, it's through love. It's so powerful. Thank you very much. Next week, we're going to be having Reverend Danny as our guest speaker. And, oops, forgot to turn the page. Yes, Reverend Danny and Jennifer Farron will be our musician. And now it's time that we have the opportunity to give freely through love, not obligation or debt, our gifts to this church and to our community, knowing that they will go forward to serve the best and share our message to all that are willing to hear it. So there are different ways to contribute. Those who have been doing it already know these techniques. It's the text to give. You can click the donate button on our website and use the traditional ways of donating with cash or checks. Of course, every gift is important and very much appreciated, because the energy of your love, prayers, and financial support carry us forward and helps Unity of Gainesville to make a difference in people's lives. So as you take your gift, visualize it, hold it over your hearts, and say with me our blessing prayer. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I choose to give and all that I am open to receive. I give in love and receive in abundance. Thank you, God. I am so blessed. So now we can bring our gifts forward while Don provides some background music for us.
Some say that life moves too fast, but these are the best years we know. When someone can brighten the day with a smile, we'll find love and blessings will flow. Love grows through the years. Love is what gets us through. Love is all we have. Find love in all you do. Writers and poets use words, and singers will speak in a song. And you know the truth when you speak from your heart. You'll find love right where you belong. Love grows through the years. Love is what gets us through. Love is all we have. Find love in all you do. Find love in all you do.
Thank you again, Don. Now that we have our gifts presented, let us take this time to bless them as well. And you can say, we'll bless these gifts knowing that they come from love and gratitude and that they will bring abundance to this community in order to be of spiritual service according to divine will, and so it is. And now's the time for our announcements. Yay, announcements. And if you miss anything, I'm just going to skip ahead here. If you miss anything during these announcements, you can always go to the website and refer back to all the upcoming events and anything that you need more information on. So I'm looking around. I don't see any first-time visitors with us in the church, but if you're with us for the first time online, welcome. We're glad you tuned in, and we're always happy to have anyone new. And if you would like more information about Unity of Gainesville or Unity in general, please go to our website, unityofgainesville.org. We still need helpers in the bookstore, for greeters, and the media team. And we know that all of our volunteers hopefully are saying no when it is not theirs to do, but when they do say yes, it's out of love and enthusiasm and support. And we're grateful for all our volunteers who help us in whatever way you decide to help us. we're halfway through our book study on the 12 powers. The book that we're studying is Power Up, the 12 Powers Revisited as Accelerated Abilities by Paul Hasselbeck and Cher Holton. This class meets every Wednesday from 6 to 7-ish, depending on how long it takes us to get started, and giving everybody an opportunity to contribute as well. The book is available in the bookstore, but you really don't have to have the book. You can just come and join us anytime for great discussions. You don't have to have started from the beginning. You can join anytime. The discussions are always rich and very beneficial. So the last day of the class is June 15th, so come and join as we wrap it up these final weeks. It's a month has gone by pretty much already since we did our last grounds cleanup. We're going to be meeting from 10-ish to 2-ish on Saturday for the grounds beautification work day. We're still needing to trim more bushes, do more mulching, and if you see anything else that would benefit from your loving attention, please join us. It's usually a good time. Hopefully it won't be too hot. Some of us may want to come and get started a little earlier to avoid the heat of the day. So Terry Kelly is not with us today, but you can contact her if there's any other information or suggestions you would like to make. I already mentioned about our church website, unityofgainesville.org. If there's any particular thing that you're not finding on the website, just give the office a call, leave a message, and someone will get back with you as soon as possible. Now I'd like to invite everyone to stand, and if you're feeling comfortable to do that, and join us in saying the prayer for protection. Together we say, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Leave this place today. Remember, folks, remember to cherish life. Remember to tell those people you love that you love them. And know that you are loved as well, and that we are all enough. And if you want to learn how to make sop and chocolate, you can look up chocolate gravy online, and I'm sure you'll find a recipe. Because I still don't know how to do it right. Okay. So as you leave this place today, know that you are beautiful, beloved, and blessed. Go in peace. Take it easy today.